I think. Margaret, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, can we have a mic check, please?
Don't
Yes.
rate me.
Yes.
Bill on. Test.
Testing.
Okay,
Sounds good.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Benton City Council meeting on November the 7th, 2023. Calling the meeting to order. Okay, let's see. I think I will actually ask Sherry Benor to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Wadsworth,
Here.
Councilman Sandretto,
Here.
Councilman Reed,
Here.
Councilwoman Funk,
Here.
Councilwoman Alcazar. Here.
Okay. So we'll move on then to the consent agenda, which is comprised of 3 city council meetings and minutes. Actually, there's 4. And
Madam Mayor,
yes,
we need to remove items 1 and 2 as they were previously approved at the council meeting on the 17th.
this is the October 9th,
October 9th and October 3rd,
both of them.
according to the minutes that are included in the packet.
Okay, thank you. All right, so those 2 items are removed. And we have the special city council workshop meetings from October 17th and the regular city council minutes for October 17th as well. And then the special council budget workshop meeting minutes from October 30th. Okay, also bills and communications.
Madam Mayor, being no objections, I'll motion to approve as amended.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Sandra, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Great eye.
Funk, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on now to the approval of the agenda. I believe there might be an announcement that needs to be made tonight that I would like to make. Anything else that should go on there?
Madam Mayor, to have before,
Yes,
just so I wanted to remove J5, purchase of the backup snowplow for dump truck.
you're going to remove that item?
Remove it for now. Yeah, I'll bring it back next council meeting.
Okay, so this is, has a date certain of the next council meeting, which I believe is the 21st of November, to be removed. Okay,
Thank
and
you.
then, are there any other changes to the agenda? Okay, I would like to make the announcement before we get into the visitors' comments, if that is okay with council. And I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Sandra, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Great eye.
Funk, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And I would like to make an announcement tonight. It has come to our attention that Councilwoman Funk will be has purchased a new home in Pasco and will be planning to move over there. And I would just like to say how much we've appreciated her participation, and we have a basket here for you, Sarah. Sorry that you weren't able to come in person, but we do thank you very much for all of your work and your expertise. And I brought you a little sample of some Red Mountain wines, so that you won't forget about Red Mountain and Benton City. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and my fellow council people. I am really, it's a hard decision to make to move into town to be closer to family, and it's really been a great opportunity to work with you all. I am excited about the growth and changes that are coming in Benton City, and I don't think we'll be far away, and look forward to still working to participate in the community in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, as we move through this agenda, the next item, I have one other thing I'd like to ask. Is someone going to be following the election returns if we go into executive session? Wendy is, but you may not be here for the executive.
I have it on my phone.
You have it?
I have it on my
Okay.
phone.
We need to know that immediately as soon as it comes out. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So now it's time for visitor comments, and these are for non-agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to make a visitor comment this evening? Okay. Hearing none, I guess we'll move on to our regular reports. The staff reports are in your packet. And business license reports, liquor control board. And then did Kyle Spees give any update? Is Kyle here?
Kyle's not.
Okay, then I think I will just give a brief statement about that. We sent out a questionnaire which included space science courses, natural physical science courses, some computer science, and help me, Wendy, if you can remember. And anyway, we got a pretty good turnout, and there was interest in the how telescopes work and the NASA space program. And there was less interest in some of the others, but there was some interest, I believe, in the James Webb telescope, some of the photographs and some knowledge about that. Earth science, kids and families were very interested in dinosaurs. And I've been able to, well, on the first part, we have a man who actually worked at NASA and decided what went on the payloads of the missions. And he's been willing to give those talks. And then I contacted Mr. George Last, who is fairly famous local geologist here. And he is willing to talk about the geology of the area, the scab lands. And he also has taught some courses on the dinosaurs. So he can do both of those. There was interest in cooking nutritious meals. And I'm trying to remember what kind of computer programs were offered. I can't remember, but there was some interest in each of the categories. So we will be moving forward with developing those programs for the next year's winter, or this winter's session. Okay. The next one is code enforcement, which we have on our desk, you know.
Good evening, everyone. So I supplied just copies to the council and the mayor, and then sent an email to Margaret and Sarah and a text to Bill. So This is from September 1st to October 31st. Public contacts were 812. That's in person, emails, and phone. Notice to comply, warning violations, dog controllers 14, livestock control is 8. Stop work orders was 2. That could be no permit, business license, non-compliant permit. Junk vehicles 22, weeds, trash, or debris 25, RV trailer/boats 12, animal welfare checks 17, land property issues that were going on with some residents, there was 14, impounded animals was 33, 21 were returned to owner, 10 transferred or released to a rescue, 2 adopted, and 8 DOAs. Graffiti abatement is 12. Permits issued was 26. Let's see, there's 1 new additional dwelling unit, 1 city water connection, 2 right-of-way alterations, 5 HVAC replacement installs, 4 re-roofs, 2 remodels, 4 fences, solar panel install, 2 re-sides, a sign install, manufactured home placement, propane tank, and 1 commercial building. Inspection scheduled was 57 and residential use permits issued was 7. I also was able to attend the waste conference in September. So I got certification for junked vehicles to be able to do on my own. And I also won a book on legal aspects. So that was, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Good job, Jenny. We know you're very busy.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or?
Has the graffiti had an uptake? I mean, it seems like, 12 seems to be.
Well, this is within 2 months. Yeah. So I know when I first started, there was a little spree of stuff going on and then it kind of settled down. And then we've seen an uptake again. So that's, I'm working with the sheriff's department as well. There's a guy that does the graffiti stuff. So I send over the pictures of it. So they are tracking the graffiti. And then sometimes we're able to abatement, especially if it's not nice graffiti, we'll abate it right away. Otherwise, we utilize that juvenile justice center agreement for them to come and abate it. So hopefully some of it will cut down. A lot of the times it's on the water towers and we're fencing it. And so
Is that where you're seeing the bulk of it? Is it the parks or?
it's along public use routes. Yeah. So a lot of it's at the park. Sometimes it's on the pathway on our bike path. A lot of the times it's coming, you can kind of just see they're coming down from the high school, maybe, graffitiing and then going down through alleys. So personal property does get tagged up sometimes. If the residents see that, I hope they reach out to me because we can also get the abatement team to abate that. We just have to fill out a form for that so that they can abate it off of their property.
And I know you've been working on getting your system up and running for your new permitting. So how's that going?
It is going well. Yeah, it is going well. I'm actually using that for the residential use permits for home occupation. So I'm running that through the permit side of it. And then the code enforcement and animal control, we're actually going to go live here on the 27th. So I've been using it already, but they're kind of getting some quirks out of it. And so the whole live thing is we're on our own. I mean, with assistance. But it is going well. I'll be able to run some way cooler reports for you guys with, like pie charts and whatnot that will show breakdowns and how long compliance takes and kind of that kind of stuff as well.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And thank you as someone who's benefited probably the most for the livestock control.
Yes, there's a few cows on there.
Cows, not goats this time.
Oh, there was goats there
Oh, there
too.
was
That's why I just blanketed it with livestock.
I think I have a corner on the market.
Yeah, right, you do. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item are council committee meeting reports.
The only meeting I've attended since our last council meeting was the Benton Franklin Walla Walla County Good Roads Association. During that meeting, we did a legislative tour of all the local construction projects, West Richland West, or excuse me, East, into the city of Walla Walla. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ben Franklin Transit for the loaning of a bus for that event.
That's great.
That's it.
Okay, anyone else?
I had the Kiona irrigation meeting. They shut everything down the 2 days before the meeting on the 15th and or the 16th and before. Why is my water not on? So I was able to answer questions on Facebook about that. But
Okay.
other than that, it was pretty uneventful. They turned the valve off and the water stopped coming out. So they're good to go.
And I attended the Benton County Mosquito Control. Obviously, this time of year, things are starting to die down on the mosquito end of things. So I think just getting ready for the next year and preparing our budget and everything else for the next mosquito season. So.
Okay. Anyone else?
Can I add something?
Okay.
It's kind of sorry.
You're right.
So I did also process 2 dangerous dog declaration permits for the city. They're pretty involved, and I forgot to put that on the report. So just it's kind of good. We're taking care of our animal situations as well, you know. So I just want to add that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I attended yesterday a meeting at Benton, Port of Benton, there finally. And I gave them an update on I-82, the railroad bridge, the City Hall, and all the other grants that we had received. And basically had hinted that we would like to have some help with the railroad bridge on that other side going through. And Diane Howard volunteered that she would look into whether or not that easement can convey. And she says, I've got a lot of experience with the railroad. So I said, thank you very much, ma'am. I would appreciate that. So she's going to be looking into that on how we get to the other side. But she did offer her support on all of the projects that we're doing. And if we need any recommendations or anything like that, she was for that. So
Good.
That went well, I thought. Okay. Sheriff's report, is that tonight? Is the sheriff on? I don't see his name. Okay. All right. So we'll pass on that one. And then now we have 2 public hearings this evening. So I will end the city council meeting and open the public hearing. And this one is on resolution 2023-32, amendment to the water system plan. Mr. Rainey.
Good evening. So brought back before you is the water system plan. I know we talked about it probably about a year ago, and there was a couple comments from Department of Ecology, and it was kind of unfortunate that they actually made the comment in the review, because the person at Department of Ecology said it doesn't really affect the water plan at all. They just had some one correction to our 6-year or water rights self-assessment forms. We had listed one water right that had been superseded, so it had been added into everything, so we just had to take that off the list. And then another comment was needed documentation of completion of well number 5, because they said it was kind of an open project for well number 5 was added as an additional place of withdrawal for a water right. So we just had to kind of close up that documentation. And so with that, we've added all that to the end of the document. But again, the biggest I guess benefit of this amendment to the water plan is this right here, where you see this blue line, and it's the urban growth area. And now we've called it also the water rights place of use. So if we ever extend or annex any land from the current city limits, then that automatically is within our retail service area. So we don't have to go through an amendment and work with ecology and Department of Health if we add anything inside that blue line.
Is that only for the north side of town then?
No, it's for the whole thing. I just and well, let me.
Including
Because it includes the new development on the other side of the,
Yes,
Yeah,
that
okay.
that oops.
that should have been already in. wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, because it's city limits.
the IA2 is within city limits.
But you
and the
included
UGA.
Kiona.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And we may look at making some adjustments to the UGA at some point. We've had some landowners talking about it, that some would like to be in, some may want to be out of the UGA. So,
Well, I think we have an obligation by law this year or 2024 to reassess UGA use.
I believe so, yes.
So.
Yeah.
That should be entertaining.
Yep. I guess since it's a public hearing, we probably should ask for a public comment on it.
Right, okay. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment on the water amendment to the water system plan? If you're on the Zoom and you would like to comment, please raise your hand so that we will know that you want to participate. And I don't see anyone in the audience that wants to participate. So I will ask one more time. Is there anyone in the audience or on Zoom that wishes to make any statement on the public hearing for the water system plan? And so I'm hearing none. So that will be the end of this public hearing.
Well,
The next public hearing is on resolution 2023-35, amendment to the 6-year transportation improvement plan. Mr. Rainey.
Okay, before you is the amendment for the 6-year transportation improvement program. As you can see on the list on the screen, the original had 9 projects, and the amendment is adding 3. That on the bottom, you can see the top 3 are the Riverfront Park Trail, pedestrian crossing, and the citywide chip seal project. And these 3 were on the 2023 tip, but since they were all funded, we took them off. But it's taken a little bit longer working with DOT to get the funds obligated, or well, that's their term, obligation. And so so we added it back onto the tip because it's going to extend into next year. And same thing with the citywide chip seal. We had to turn the money back just because of the timing of everything. And so we added it back on there and reapplied in August. So we're hopeful that we'll get that chip seal money and we'll be ready to move forward with it. And so that is the I guess the gist of why we did this is that we wanted to add those 3 back onto the project list.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience or on the Zoom meeting that would like to comment on the transportation improvement plan in this public hearing? If anyone would like to provide any testimony in this public hearing, could you please raise your hand if you're on Zoom so that we can see if you wish to comment? Okay, I am not seeing anyone that wants to comment. So with that, we will close the public hearings and go resume our regular council meeting. Okay. The next item then are items for discussion. And the first one is Riverfront Park Design Update with Nathan Radich.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Quite a while ago, we provided a preliminary design for the Riverfront Park. And since that time, we've met with Department of Fish and Wildlife, had discussions with the Department of Ecology. And with those, we wanted to provide a revised plan to you based on their recommendations. Yes. Sure. Oh, let me share it again. Bit here. So this is Riverfront Park, and I'll kind of outline it for you. Hopefully you can see it okay up there. So your property lines, you've got the one property line running along the wastewater treatment plant up to the river, down along the river, and on the south, taking out this 1 acre block of land right here. And originally we had a public restroom down in this area, as well as a parking area. We had a paved path up here with a switchback and some observation areas. The biggest modification we've made is moving the public restroom from down in this area over to the entrance of the park, over to here. This red line indicates the floodplain. So we needed to move things out of the floodplain to make sure that that would meet Department of Ecology's requirements. This is all gravel parking here. We wanted to avoid having any paved area inside the floodplain as well. So here's some paved ADA parking here, over in this area, and then again up in here. You've got a gravel road coming in, and then we did set up an event area down in this area. Where also part of our revision was to reduce the impact of removing sagebrush. With Fish and Wildlife, I think I'd mentioned if we remove any sagebrush, it's considered protected, and there would be a 2-to-1 mitigation rate where we'd have to replace. So, and to try to work well with Fish and Wildlife, we wanted to reduce that as much as possible. So we chose this area because there's not a lot of sagebrush here. And again, we chose, originally we had the road following right at the bottom of the embankment of the old railroad, but instead we decided to keep the path of the existing road that's there, putting in some parking next to the road in certain areas, but again, areas where you can kind of see there's minimal impact of sagebrush. Our paths are meant to twine through the sagebrush, so there'll be minimal impact there as well. And then we do have, hopefully in the future, a dirt trail and some fishing areas cleared off by the shore. Process for this, we are still working on the NEPA application, the Federal Environmental Protection Agency application, and there's quite a bit to that. But this is kind of the most updated plan that we have at this time. So any questions, any comments?
Have we looked at any further on the solar panels? I know there was a concern brought up the first time you guys brought to us about being rocks and stuff being thrown on those solar panels. Have you guys been able to get any further on how to protect those from?
We've had a few discussions, but I can't say there's any solutions really been put forth on that other than lighting and fencing. which we already have some of that there, but increasing the lighting around is kind of the best solution we can come up with at this time. You know, you're fighting an elevation here that exists already and solar panels that are already in place. So there's unfortunately not a lot we can do other than signage, you know, hopefully working with Public Works and law enforcement to help patrol the areas. That was one reason we also wanted to bring the bathrooms up here, because if your public restrooms are way down here in the park during off hours, it's very easy to have somebody camp out, vandalism, things like that to occur. So this way it's more easily patrollable and visible as well. Any other questions? All right, well, we will continue working on this and hopefully be able to get this moving forward soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I might add is that we plan to put in for an RCO grant for development of this park. That's coming up this next year.
Exciting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Email me that.
Yes. I'll get that over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Would you all like a copy?
It would be awesome. Yeah.
One thing not on the agenda, but just wanted to mention, I don't know if you all saw the email, but we did receive the RCO grant for the local parks maintenance. 13 out of, I think, hundreds of cities applied. So we were number 13, but we did receive full funding, 100,000. So once we receive more notification and approval to proceed, we'll begin working on that.
Exciting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to item 2, that's Parks, Recreation and Open Space Plan Update. And that's called the PROS Plan. And George Kress, our planning director, will discuss that.
Good evening, Mayor Lehman, members of the council. Pleasure to be here this evening. I have for you a brief update on the RCO activities. Spink Engineering, Nathan and I and Alan have been reviewing the parks plan. And as a way of background, just to keep everybody informed of why we're doing this, the purpose of the Parks and Recreation Plan Addendum is to meet eligibility requirements for grant application submission for funding that is administered through the Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office. The last city plan that was approved by RCO was adopted as an addendum to the comp plan by council action on March 5th of 2002. So that is the reason why we're having to update it. And some of the tasks that we've identified in doing that is to do a survey. And the last survey was done, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And we reviewed the survey, and it was well, the folks here participated and got those surveys back in. We had over 125, so people are really concerned about the parks and what activities they can do in them. So we're going to have a survey go out by SurveyMonkey online on the city's website, and that hopefully will be out in the next day or so. We will also have a hard copy survey that will be mailed out to folks here in town. And I want to thank Cassandra here on our staff who translated the survey into Spanish so we could reach more folks. And she did a really good job on that, as helping me on this park plan update too, as well. So I want to thank her again for doing that. So we will have both the survey in English and in Spanish go out in hard copy form, as well as SurveyMonkey. And so we'll have that out for a couple of weeks. Updated the plan questions a little bit too, mentioning the couple of new parks that we have, as well as Megan suggested we reach out to handicap or ADA folks. So we have a couple of questions there amended to include their input on accessibility and what they would like to see in the parks as well. So again, the survey will end in a couple of weeks, and that is a major component of the plan. The staff will tally the survey results towards the end of the month. And we will present them, the results to council in the first week or so in December. So we can talk about that and outline some of the concerns and comments that the people who took the survey responded. Council will review the plan update overall that we're providing new demographic data for the plan. The data in the plan now is 10, 15, 20 years old. So I wanted to get the current census data, the most up-to-date information in that plan, as well as other social economic factors that are listed in there. And so our plan is to provide an update overall of the whole plan and the survey results again in January. Nathan pointed out we have new parkland, albeit it's only a couple of acres, but Blacktop Estates and Mountain View Meadows, as part of their overall final plan requirements, are to either pay in lieu of fee for parks maintenance or land that is based on the overall acreage of those subdivisions. And so we have an acre or two in each of those subdivisions as open space or park land. So we will need to name them.
So
Whatever.
That's my thought.
So-
I know that,
Let's take a breath and let's run through a few things here first
Okay.
before we get to naming. This is the survey you're gonna put out. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe it's attached.
Okay.
It's a draft
And
anyway.
the reason why I want to bring up is two things. The Lions Club Park is not part of the city park system. It's a
Okay.
separate private entity park. Now, I know they were talking about approaching the city with a lease agreement, but I don't think that that's ever happened because they want somebody to take over maintenance of the facility.
Okay.
The city park's been renamed. It's now the Lloyd R. Carnahan Memorial Park.
Okay.
That rolls into your naming criteria. All the parks we discussed as council to start naming them, not calling them Blacktop Estates or something generic, but to give them a name of somebody or something that's culturally significant to our city. That sound right? So somebody of history, maybe first mayor, first fire chief, things like that. But we wanted to put that out to the citizens, really, I think. And is that how the discussion went?
I felt like that's what the discussion was taking it to the public and seeing what their suggestions might be on some names that might be important to the local community.
Because we feel that there's a little more value in that too, or at least I did. I feel there's a little bit more value in that to our citizens when you have some sort of culturally significant tie to the community. That you can say that was the first fire chief's park, or that was the first mayor's park, or this is the guy, this park was named after the guy who plotted the city of Benton City. Right? Something like that.
Right,
I
those are
think
good ideas.
Council agreed on that for your naming convention. So that's something that we need to follow up with in the long-term planning piece.
Okay.
Also, isn't Botaka, and maintenance, can you speak to this? Isn't the Botaka Park a city park?
Yes, we maintenance that park.
Yeah, so there's a small community park in the middle of Botaka Estates that
Mhm.
belongs to the city as well. At all the parks.
I think so.
I believe Otaka does have a sign that names it Otaka Park.
Does it? Well, it was probably named that because that was the name of the subdivision.
Correct, correct.
And that's kind of like the city park. It's always been called the city park. That's why it was chose to be renamed. about the only one of those parks or two parks that probably would retain their names in my thought process. And the city council can speak to this is Archie Borden and probably Legion Heights Park. Although that's named after a subdivision, it's a pretty substantially well-recognized park, I think, by that
Been
name.
there a very long time.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Did you have more to go? Sorry, I
Nope.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
We have one?
I'm really passionate about those parks things.
Sure. No, those are great ideas.
And then, of course, what are we calling that? The railroad bridge park down there? Riverfront. That probably needs to have a name somewhere too.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for George?
More to come.
Thank you, George. Okay. The next item we have for discussion is to set a date for the budget workshop. And Carla, did you want to address this?
I will, we need to get it done. We did provide you guys a proposed budget that, Sherry and I got together. I provided it to the mayor earlier. And Sherry printed them off this afternoon and they've been provided to you guys, so you guys will have time to review it. I would suggest sometime, if we can't do it this week, then next week, just get it on so we can do a budget workshop. Get it, any changes you guys want made. Since we need to have this done by the 30th.
Looks like I have tomorrow evening free. I have city meeting at Transit Thursday. Friday I'm available.
It's a holiday.
I'm sorry.
I could make myself available.
Monday I'm free. The 13th. And Wednesday, I think I'm free too. Next week. Anybody else?
I'm free Monday. I guess it would.
Bill, Sarah? Diana?
Monday the 13th or.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm free.
Sarah? Bill?
I can work to make best efforts, but I'm not certain of what meetings after tonight I'll be able to wrap up on.
Okay, well, we'd appreciate you if you could.
Thank you.
Bill must have ran off to a fire call or something since he's at work. Okay. So Monday the 13th sounds like consensus.
Okay, does 6 o'clock work for you guys, or do we need to go later?
I can run. I run here for you.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we have a date, the 13th. Okay, then the next items are items for approval. And the first one is resolution 2023-32, amendment to the water system plan.
I motion to approve resolution 2023-32, resolution city of Benton City for the amendment of the water system plan.
Second,
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Funk, I.
Alcazar, I.
Okay. Mr. Reed is not
Get a step
responding,
away.
so,
He had to step away.
okay. So motion carries. Okay, next item is resolution 2023-33, approval of the wet well reline project. Mr. Rainey.
Actually, Mr. Raddick
Oh,
with them. The wet well project, not sure if you recall, we had moved forward with that project with a completion date of October 31st. They were complete on October 28th. A few small pictures to show you here. This is what it looked like before. Found quite a bit of deterioration in there and several feet of sludge that had to be shoveled out of the bottom. Those are the bypass pumping systems that were put in place to ensure system was still operating. About a week to do this. This is the application of the concrete filler. And then the final product application of the epoxy coating afterwards. So it's all nice and smooth and coated. They took off a couple inches of deteriorated concrete and were able to apply the filler and the coating. So this should last us about 10 more years.
That's good.
Unit is in operation and operating well. We also installed, which this is not part of this resolution. I'm waiting on the invoice from Total Energy, but we also installed a float leveler system. So once we receive that invoice, we'll put that in for approval as well.
okay. Any questions?
Just to refresh my memory, this is ARPA funded, correct?
No, this was city funds.
Was it city?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll motion to approve resolution 2023-33, a resolution City of Benton, City, Washington, approving wet well relining project.
Second,
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Funk, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Okay, motion carries. All right, the next item is the interagency agreement for pedestrian crossings.
Yes, this is for the WSDOT funded pedestrian crossing project. One of the items required through the local agency agreement with WashDOT is a resolution. So this is resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the local agency agreement and enter into an agreement with WSDOT for the funding of this. Forms have all been reviewed preliminarily by WashDOT and they've approved them. We just need the resolution and signatures, and then we will submit for final approval.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-34, resolution of City of Benton, City, Washington.
Second,
Approving local agency agreement for pedestrian crossing. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what that was supposed to say.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Funk, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
The next item is resolution 2023-35, a resolution to amend resolution 2023-18, 6-year transportation improvement plan.
I motion to approve resolution 2023-35, a resolution to amend resolution 2023-8-18 to amend the 6-year transportation improvement plan for the city of Benton, City, Washington.
Second,
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Funk, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Okay, motion carries. And the last item was tabled to
Yes.
November 21st. So now if we could take a 5-minute break, please, before we enter into executive session. Do you expect any
Action afterwards?
Action.
No, I don't. And
no
if I could
action
just
to follow?
indicate, we've got a number of items. So it may be I'm gonna suggest we start with at least
30 minutes. It may need to be extended, but some of them are gonna be call for more discussion, some of them probably not.
Okay. All right,
Boy, I
Okay.
love you.
so we'll take a 5-minute break now and resume in 5 minutes. Approximately 6 minutes to 8. Thank you.
Anybody outside? I haven't seen anything yet. Let me look.
I have it up, actually.
Oh.
Congratulations, Dave. So was I. Sarah's doing pretty good too.
Well, 10 people didn't like me.
Only 7 wrote in for me.
Did the mayor one come in yet?
It's the Burton's ahead by 6%.
By 6%.
Yep. As it stands now. 271 votes are cast. There were 2 write-ins.
It's,
116 votes for Moakler, 153 for
isn't
Burton.
that 14%? 56 minus.
From the 50% mark you need 6% of it.
Okay.
Now, the gap between him and Moakler is
Yeah.
18%.
Okay, I was like,
14%.
wait, I'm like,
Okay.
but it does.
So. But I caution you,
I think
we probably got another 100.
That's for sure. And it'll take 2 weeks to get the 100.
The 100.
More votes.
You should have almost 500 votes by the time you're done. It should be like 450.
So,
I just put my back.
Madam Mayor,
Okay, are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling the city council meeting back to order. And there was no action following the executive session. So I would entertain and.
I'd like to say something before we go.
Okay,
So I had a booth down at the trick or treat down here at the park. It was wonderful, great turnout. I felt like the community really came out and it was great support. Hopefully next year we can get some more vendors and more people. It seems like it's really taken off and I appreciate everybody's effort that night for putting it together. And Sarah, thank you for all of your dedication to us and your number crunching has always been beneficial. I will deeply miss you, but I am excited for your next adventure.
Oh, thank you so much. And
Wow.
and Halloween was a blast. It was the best attended ever.
and I'll echo that comment. We're gonna miss you, Sarah. We appreciated all your time on council.
Thank you.
I enjoyed working with you.
And I was gonna say, I concur, only I don't remember voting on approving you to leave.
Oh,
With
thank
that,
you. It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
okay. All right, with that. if there's
Motion to
nothing
adjourn.
else,
I
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
I.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Meeting's adjourned.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the pictures from Halloween when I was home.